What is going on, everybody? Beautiful May Day out here in California. Just walking Piper right now, and I'm gonna do a video I am already doing a video for you, but I'm going to be talking about the types of protein sources that you should be including in your diet. And I'm gonna get into that. I'm gonna get into some of the science there. But first, I'm gonna take you a little bit through my day. I'm about to go for my workout. Haven't eaten yet today. It's about 12:30 in the afternoon. So that was a rough workout for me. First things first, that was one of the hero WODs. It was called Johnson, and it wasn't the real Johnson. Trust me on that. The real Johnson's way harder than that. But it was named after First Lieutenant Michael E. Johnson, who died at age 25 in Afghanistan, U.S. Marine Corps officer. And hero WODs are workouts that are named after fallen heroes. And this week was Memorial Day. I've been trying to do at least one of the hero WODs per week, just to try and do something hard, just to try and add something a little bit extra to my training. I'm not a CrossFitter. I'm definitely not a crazy athlete like some of these guys. The real workout was 245 pounds, 9 reps deadlifts, and then 8 muscle ups in a row, and then 145 pounds, 9 reps for squat cleans. And you do that as many rounds as possible for 20 minutes. I actually did 225 pounds on the deadlift, 9 repetitions, 115 pounds on the squat clean, 9 repetitions, and then 8 pull-ups, because I can do 1 or 2 bar muscle ups, but I can't do 9 in a row. I'm just not that savage, and it's really humbling to know that there's human beings out there who could do all of these. And it's even more humbling to know that there's heroes who put their lives on the line for our freedom, who have given their lives for our freedom. And that's one of the reasons why I'm trying to incorporate these hero WODs into my workouts each week, just to try something hard, something difficult. And honestly, if you're just doing something, doing the same thing all the time, and you're not challenging yourself, you're not getting any better. And you might have, I mean, I've got a pretty good deadlift, guys, but you know, doing 225, 9 reps, along with all those other exercises for 20 minutes, as many rounds as possible, that was really, really difficult. And my forearms were burning, everything on my body was burning, and I feel like a big old sissy, but got to be real about it, guys. Got to get stronger. So I wanted to talk to you guys today about protein sources. And yes, of course, everybody's got their opinion on this. But, you know, I've seen a lot of different people make big time mistakes on their protein sources, putting protein sources in their bodies that aren't very absorbable, that are ruining their digestive systems, and that can actually be counterproductive. So let me go through different types of protein sources. I'll talk about supplements, I'll talk about foods, but keep in mind here that everybody is different, right? So my intolerance is everything that works with me might not work for you, and everything that I can't tolerate, it might be fine for you. So first things first, whey protein isolate. I don't personally like whey protein isolate, whether or not it's organic or grass-fed or anything like that. Now, here's my reasoning. Protein isolate, when you isolating protein by itself, the big thing that it's going to give you is an insulin spike, right? It's going to spike your insulin, and then the whole point of it is, after a workout, your insulin spiked, it's shuttling nutrients into your cells, it's shuttling amino acids into your cells. Now, I don't personally have any need for an insulin spike being ketogenic, and a lot of guys who are keto, a lot of people who do low carb, they still do whey protein isolate. For me, that is not useful at all. And if you are low carb and you are ketogenic, you don't really have any use for whey protein isolate. And again, it's because of that insulin spike. You're not looking for an insulin spike after a workout. You're really trying to fuel yourself with your own fat source. That's not to say that amino acids and protein aren't important, but whey protein isolate in and of itself it's not really gonna do the trick for you if you're ketogenic. If you're a standard, normal, high carb athlete, then whey protein isolate definitely might be of some use to you. And so my recommendation there is to find a good grass-fed whey protein isolate that is free of external toxins, that's also not a mix with a whey protein concentrate or a casein whey protein, because those, I'll talk about those in a second, but they are definitely going to interrupt everything that you want to get out of it, which if you're a high carb athlete is going to be that insulin spike. As far as casein protein, I don't pronounce things correctly. So casein protein, it's a very, very slow digesting protein. Now, I have a lot of problems with this, being somebody whose digestive system has been compromised by ulcerative colitis. So what does casein protein do? It turns into a slow digesting gel in your intestinal tract. And this begins to look a lot like mucus. Now, for people with overactive immune systems like myself, or anybody who's worried about their digestive health, this really isn't a good thing. Now, studies have demonstrated that your body might regard that gel as a foreign body within your intestinal tract, and that also may lead your body to attack it. And if your body starts releasing inflammatory cytokines in response to a foreign body in your intestinal tract, that can lead to huge levels of gut inflammation, really bad digestion, and it can also lead to something like ulcerative colitis or Crohn's. So you got to be really careful there. Now, something to understand about casein is that it's also the major protein in dairy. So if you're drinking a lot of milk, if you're consuming a lot of cheese, I love cheese. Cheese is one of my most favorite things in the world, but I have to be very careful when I eat it, and I can only eat it in extreme moderation because of the high amount of casein protein in there, and because I really don't want my digestive system to be further compromised. So be careful with cheese, be careful with the dairy, and avoid those casein protein powders. Now, as far as the protein sources that I do recommend, if you're going to go with a protein powder, I really like collagen protein. Collagen protein is the protein that is most abundant in your body. It makes up your skin, makes up the interior lining of your intestinal tract, and it's good for so many different reasons. It's really anti-inflammatory, can really help. It's got a huge amount of glutamine in it, and that's really helpful for healing the interior lining of your intestinal tract. It's highly absorbable, and you can get it from a number of different sources. Like I said, you can get it from a collagen protein. You can also get a lot of collagen from a good bone broth. Now, I like to make my own bone broth, and what I do is I take beef marrow bones, stick them in a crock pot. I'll slice up some vegetables in there, carrots, celery, maybe some onion, things like that. I'll throw some turmeric in there, some black pepper. I'll stick a little bit of olive oil and coconut oil in there, and then I'll let that thing simmer for 12 hours, and that'll take all the collagen out of the bones, and then you get a good broth that you can sip on 2 or 3 times a day. It's got a great amount of collagen in there. So that, whether it's coming from the protein powder or whether it's coming from the bone broth, really great source of protein, really great source of glutamine that can really help you as far as healing your digestive system, and that can also help you with building muscles. Loaded with amino acids, really will help with recovery. And if you mix it up with that turmeric, that black pepper, and that fat source, along with the nutrients from the vegetables that get leached out into the broth, you're gonna have something really nutritious that's gonna be great for you as well. Beyond that, all right, so food sources of protein. I like whole eggs. I don't eat a lot of eggs myself, but if you don't have an intolerance for eggs, or if you don't have an allergy for eggs, then having whole eggs with a good dark yolk, because they've been pasture raised and they've been feeding on insects, really great source of protein, loaded with vitamins. Don't do just egg whites. You're not getting all the nutrients that you get from the yolks. You're not getting the enzymes that can help you to digest that protein. And if you're consuming that just by itself, egg whites are actually a protein that's really, really hard to digest. And if you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that anything that's not digestible will cause inflammation. Meat sources, my favorite meat source is, of course, beef, grass-fed beef. I love myself a good ribeye steak, but here's the thing. Muscle meat is not the most beneficial protein. Yes, of course, I think you should eat beef, you should eat steak, but every once in a while incorporate some organ meats in there. I really love grass-fed beef liver. If you watch my videos from a few years ago, I have a few different videos where I'm cooking up some grass-fed beef liver, and I've got some great recipes on it. Maybe I'll throw one up later on this week. But I know it's yucky. I know some of you might be disgusted by it, but if you cook this thing the right way, it's going to taste like a really fine steak, and it's so nutritionally dense, really, really beneficial. And that's one of my big problems with a lot of people who practice the carnivore diet. If you're actually trying to get the nutrients from meat, you can really get a whole bunch of them from organ meat. Grass-fed beef liver is probably the best source of that. Do I eat chicken? Yes, I will every once in a while. I don't eat a lot of chicken breast. I will eat a lot of chicken thighs. Chicken thighs have a lot more fat